Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching us from. My name is Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host on Connect with Comfort show. You are welcome and happy Mother's Day to our mothers. I know some people celebrate it in March, some in May, depending on your denomination. Whichever case, even if you are celebrating the second time, it's never too much. Lots of mothers deserve much more than that. So happy Mother's Day. You are welcome to today's show, and I'm glad you are able to join us. Today we will be discussing the topic dealing with your money psychology. I'm sure you are wondering what that is. But the money aspect is known to all of us. We will be exploring the various ways in which our psychological attitudes and behaviors affect our financial decision making. We are all we all have unique relationship with money, I believe, and understanding our own attitudes and beliefs can be a critical step in making better financial choices. Learning also to recognize and manage these influences is very important to achieving financial success. Whether you are someone who tends to overspend, like some of us, or you are struggling with savings, or simply you want to improve your overall financial well being, we hope you find this session informative and helpful as we delve into the fascinating world of money psychology. Please remain connected. We'll go on a very short break and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Sacrifice leads and gains follow. Don't look for any gains where there's been no sacrifice. Don't wake up and look for no gain. Don't look for your game to improve. Don't look for the record to improve. Without sacrifice, there are no gains. You can't make millions of dollars if you don't make millions sacrifice.
You're going to need to cut some fat if you want life to change. If you want to show me you want to win that bad, pack your calendar, because everything is based off of activity. Very few people want to show their calendar, because if they did, you would realize who really wants to win that and who doesn't. It's mathematically impossible for you not to win at the highest level if your calendar is packed from day till night, every single day, the entire year, day after day after day after day after day, without you winning.
Some of y'all so caught up on the game that you don't get it. It is in practicing. It is in eating right. It is in making good decisions that you look a certain way. It is how you practice. It is what you do that makes you look like you look. It is the process of the grind that shapes you and forms you. It's not the game. And that's why most of y'all get beat in the game or make mistakes in the game, because you think grinding is what happens when the sun comes out. You think grinding is what happens when the lights come on. You think grind is what happens when people get in the stage. That's not grind. The real grind is in the dark when nobody sees you, when nobody knows what you're doing, when you studying without coach, when you putting in those extra reps, when you watching those videos and you getting inspired, when you change your music. It's the process.
You are welcome. I hope you got a tip or two from that video telling us this: without sacrifice, there will be no gain. As to pack our calendar, of course, with the right activity, you can pack your calendar with wrong ones. But for you to have gain or success, pack your calendar with the right activities, making sacrifices for better gain. You are welcome back. My guest today, to help to shed more insight on this very interesting topic, is Mr. Kayode Kolade. Kayode Kolade is an inspiring high performance coach, author, and marathon runner. Hmm, very interesting. Who loves chocolate and science fiction film movies. What a combination. His online training videos have garnered millions of viewers, helping thousands to achieve their goals. He had led strategic sessions and executive retreats for top organizations in the banking, health, law, and hospitality sectors. Kayode is exceptionally good at high performance and leadership coaching and advisory with certifications in leadership, family therapy, business management, and high performance. He is the author of the books Procrastin Action and Growth Hacks. You agree with me that we have a very distinguished guest with so many backgrounds, a very interesting background. Kayode, you are welcome to today's show. We
Thank you.
appreciate you. We are delighted that you are able to honor our invitation despite your busy schedule, as you can see from your files. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ma, for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Together, we will be sharing insights on how to identify and deal with your money psychology. Without much ado, Kyle, will be going straight on. The first question: how does your money mindset affect your financial decision making?
Thank you so much, Ma, for having me on the show. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here. I'll just quickly start by saying Happy Mother's Day to you, Ma, just like you mentioned at the beginning of the show. And Happy Mother's Day to all our mothers out there. Right now, I'm here live. I know my mom is also logged in, watching the show right now. Yes. Yeah, happy Mother's Day, Mommy. So glad to have you here. My wife too. She's right now logged in and watching watching the show. So I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to her. Happy Mother's Day to every mother that is logged in and watching us right now. We're talking about your money psychology, and we're just getting right into it so that we don't waste our time, because I know many of us want to prepare for the week ahead of us. So we'll just get right into it. The importance of your mindset and how it affects your financial decisions. Sorry, I'll just quickly say that it's just so important. It affects everything. It affects everything. The video that played during the break, I caught so many things from that particular video, and I think one particular thing that I caught from that video was that many times we think that the grind is what happens when the sun comes up. Many people don't realize that the grind is what happens when people are not watching what happens in the dark. And for me, that's just it perfectly illustrates what we're talking about today. That really, if we are going to achieve those financial goals, we need to go back to the foundation. We need to go back to the basics. And that's your money mindset. That's your psychology. That's where everything happens. That's where the change happens. Especially because of this time that we live in, where it's very easy for us to get instant gratification, especially with social. We put out a lot of stuff and people can see and comment and like and share. There's always that temptation to want to always keep up appearances, to want to show, to be focused on the outward. But the reason why we're having this conversation this evening is to say that really, see, it starts from the inward, it starts from the mind. That's where it happens. Until you get your mind in order, you will not have anything to show, you will not have anything to put outside. Just to just give you a practical example of what we're talking about. You've everyone has heard my bio and all the fantastic things that I'm into and that I do. But one thing that is not mentioned in my bio is the fact that before I got into coaching, I was a banker. I used to be a banker. I was a banker for 4 years. I was a banker for 4 years. I resigned 2012 before I got into coaching. And I remember that my last day as a banker, when I put in my resignation, my last day as a banker, my colleague said to me, "Oh, so wow, you mean you are leaving us, and you don't even know exactly what you are going to do? I envy you. Anybody that does something like this must have a large inheritance kept somewhere, or must have a large amount of money saved in the bank." And I remember that I just smiled to him because I didn't have either. I didn't have any large inheritance anywhere. Neither did I have a large amount of money saved up in the bank. And you can guess what happened after I resigned. Not too long after that, immediately I went broke. And I'm talking about the fact that here I was with my wife. We couldn't meet basic bills. We couldn't pay basic bills anymore, to the point that we even had to move out of where we were staying to move into the family house. And all this was happening. And here I was, very hardworking, very diligent. But I discovered something, that I was just going through the motions. I was just trying to keep up appearances, trying to show to people that I was doing well, that I was doing fine. I was a banker. I had a nice car. I lived in a nice part of town. Everybody knew me as somebody that you could call up easily and say, "Oh, I need this, I need that," and I could easily pass it over to them. And that was what I was busy focused on, trying to keep up those appearances, until I had to say to myself, "Look, if you really want to see a change, you need to go back to the foundation. And that's, you need to deal with your money mindset. You need to deal with your money psychology if you are going to see that change that you are looking for." And for me, that's where the change actually happened.
Very, very instructive. I'm sure some people can identify with that story. Okay, we've been told the importance of mindset for our financial decision making or our money psychology. What are some common psychological biases that can lead to poor financial choices?
Thank you so much, Ma, for that question. I was listening to somebody recently, and the person said something, that the way you do one thing is the way that you end up doing everything. And one thing that I discover is that at the root of the way we do things, even our finances, even when it comes to our financial decisions, you hit the nail on the head, Ma, with that particular question, when you said usually there are biases, there are those things that are going on in our minds that lead us to make those decisions that we make. I'll give this very practical example. Just like I mentioned, I got into coaching the year 2012, year 2013. And in my coaching business, I now discovered that, okay, I will go into meetings, I will go to meet clients, make pitches, make a presentation. And there's this thing that happens, and anybody that is watching right now, please, if you can identify, just type yes in the comments. I go to make a presentation, and when it comes to the issue of pricing, the client will now ask me, "Okay, so how much do you charge for this particular service that you want to offer?" And I discovered that every time they ask me that question, immediately I will say, "You know what, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. It's not about the money. It's about the impact I want to make." And I discovered that for a very long time, that's what I was always doing. Once they ask me the question of, "Okay, so how much do you charge?" I would say, "No, don't worry. It's not about the money. It's about the impact. It's about, I want to impress you and all that." Until I discovered how I was going month after month, year after year. I was making no money. I was soaking the gari, eating the coconut, and I had to not tell myself, "Kayode, see, is it not time for you to change this strategy, to change this approach?" Now, coming to the hitting the nail on the head, like you said, ma, which is biases. That's where I'm going. I now discovered that, okay, Kayode, why do you always say it's not about the money? Why is it that you even make that statement? What happens? And that's when I now began to discover that it had to do with the fact that I was not confident with myself. I didn't like conversations around money. And I just, like I mentioned, my mom is right here, logged on this live session with us, and I wouldn't be here. That's just the truth. Without all the sacrifices that she made for us as kids, and the desire of every mother is, okay, look, let the children be better. And many of us know that popular saying that don't give, let's give the people that we love the flowers while we can still smell them. So for me, that's just what it is. I want to be able to give the people that I love the flowers while they can still smell them. But you now begin to drill down and discover that there are some certain biases that are affecting your financial decisions, especially for some of us that grew up in certain homes where conversations around money was not anything pleasant. Anytime there's that conversation about money, be it between my mom or my dad and we kids, we always knew what was going to come next. And that was that it was going to lead to a quarrel or it was going to lead to a fight. It will always lead to a quarrel or it will always lead to a fight. And so some of us have carried that biases into our finances, even as grown-ups today, to the point that some of us are married and we have pleasant conversations with our spouses. We talk about anything, we gossip, we gist, we do all manner of things. But once that issue of money is mentioned, my wife always say, Kayode, come, see, I need to point this out to you. We talk about everything. Just like you mentioned in the beginning, man, you say I love sci-fi movies. Both of us, we enjoy watching sci-fi movies. But she says, anytime I mention money, your standard temperature and pressure goes up. It's not nice. You need to check this thing. And so that, for me, that's where it is. And that's why we're saying that you have to be able to identify these biases and to begin to say, why do I have an issue with this? Why do I have an issue with money? Many of us, we've been to church this evening. Earlier today, we were in church. The pastor has prayed blessings on us, and we are going out into the week. Oh, we are going to make those millions this week. But we need to come back to that place, and that's why this meeting is so important that we're having, that there are some biases that at the end of the day are deflecting those blessings that have been poured down on us. And until we're able to identify and deal with those things, we can't begin to really enter into those financial blessings that we desire.
Thank you very much. I'm sure many people also identify with that. I like the part where you said the temperature changes when it comes to money. How can you overcome the fear of investing and start building long-term wealth?
Thank you so much, Ma. The fear of investing, absolutely, Ma. What I'll just quickly say is that you need to remember that it's bigger than you, really. It's bigger than you. Most times when it comes to the issue of fear, not just in our finances, in our business, in our relationship, that particular step that you want to take and you are feeling fear in your heart, one thing I always advise both my clients, my students, and people around me is that you need to remember that it's not all about you. There are things that are bigger than you. You need to remember that what is it that I'm fighting for? Who am I fighting for? When you remember these things, you know that, look, it's you need to take that particular step. Because just like I mentioned now, we're talking about the fact that here's your loved one, like my mom that is watching right now, like my wife that is logged on right now. And I know many of us, we have those people that are so dear to our hearts. And we're saying to ourselves that, how can I give these people the flowers while they can still smell them? Because you now begin to tell yourself that if you keep going the way that you are going, when are you going to be able to afford to give them those very nice things that they deserve to have? And for me, that's just what it is all about. To remember that there is something bigger than you that you are fighting for. Once you always have that at the back of your mind, you just know that the fear will still come, but it's just part of the journey. You go ahead and take that step, and then you keep moving forward towards that goal that you want to achieve.
Fantastic. The fear is what propels you, what
Absolutely.
the, the inner plank that keeps ticking to make you to go at it. So we have to have
Absolutely.
that urge within us to do better than we are doing currently, and
Yes.
always know that we are accountable for others. That's very good. What
Yes,
role
ma'am.
does impulse control play in managing your money effectively? Impulse.
Impulse. It plays everything, man. Because when we're talking about impulse, we're basically saying that you don't have a plan. That's the best way we can say it, that you don't have a plan. And one thing that I'm realizing every day is that if you are going to rise higher in life, I know many of us watching this, we've has achieved so much. We have achieved fantastic goals, sorry, when it comes to our finances, our businesses, and then in our relationships. But the reason why we're here, right, is because we want to continue to grow. The largest room in life is the room for improvement, is the room for growth. So we're saying that if we're going to keep growing, if we're going to keep improving in every aspect of our life, including our finances, then we need to have a plan. We need to remember that God has plans for us, but He will not plan for you. That's just the thing. God has plans for us, but He will not plan for you. His plan is that we are blessed, we are prosperous in every in every aspect of our lives. But He will not plan for you. Those plans are there, but we need to have a plan in place. And the way to deal with impulse is by having that plan. And to remember, just like I said, that if you are going to go higher, you need to have a plan. Now, I always give this practical example that imagine, and maybe many of us have seen this very humorous clip before, of how of somebody driving his car in the United States of America and somebody driving his car in Nigeria. So there was, I'll just quickly run through it. They give this example of somebody driving his car in the US, and then he's driving his car and notices that the fuel gauge is at the halfway point, and says, "Oh, okay, my fuel gauge is at the halfway point. Oh, okay, where's the next fuel station that I can drive into and top my gas, top the fuel?" And then he's good. Now the next part, they show my dear Nigerian brother. He's driving the car, and what happens is that he has driven the car to the point that the fuel gauge is now on E. Is showing red. And the guy is now palpitating, he's desperate, he's agitated, and he's saying, Jesus, 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 don't let this car off on the while I'm still driving. Oh, please, Jesus, leave me to the next fuel station so that I can quickly top this fuel and so that the car doesn't go off. Now, while it sounds humorous and all that, it points to the fact of how many times on our journey in life we usually don't have a plan. And usually when there is no plan, usually what results at the end of the day is all manner of negative things that we do not desire. Because if this guy had put a plan in place, he would have known how the time when he should have fueled his car so that it can take him on his journey. Now that is just driving. Now imagine that, okay, it's a plane. You don't see where a pilot is flying the aircraft, and then mid-air the guy now says, Jesus, Jesus, I didn't check the engine oil of the fuel of the craft, and then, okay, I want to look for where to park so that I can come out. So you just realize that the higher you go, the more detailed you have to be in your planning. And the way to avoid impulse is by having a deliberate plan. And so for each and every one of us after this session is we need to go back and say, see, this thing, this financial breakthrough, this financial goal that I want to achieve is great and is beautiful. But what is the plan that I have in place to achieve that goal?
Fantastic. Fantastic. The one that misses me much is Jesus. It's like most times we tempt God so much. We tempt God so much. Like, where was Jesus when you failed to plan? Excuse me. Like you rightly said, we've been given we've been given all there is to use and to take, but it's for us to act on it. And as believers too, even from the message my father and the Lord shared today, that we have, even though we pray, but we already, God has assured us we have this thing. It's just for us to receive.
Absolutely, man.
Because we say God does not answer prayer, it's for us to activate that step to receive what God has already given. So
Mm.
I think
Mm.
that will resonate with many people. We need to
Yes.
be more detailed. The higher we go, we need to be more detailed with our plan to be sure
Mm.
that we have what we call plan B and not just rely on chances. That's very
Absolutely.
good.
Yes, man.
How can you develop a healthy relationship with money and avoid overspending or hoarding?
Thank you so much, ma. Overspending and hoarding. At the end of the
Or
day,
the
I'll,
opposite?
uh, sorry, I didn't get that, ma.
So I said overspending and hoarding, they are opposites of
Opposite,
opposite.
exactly, ma. Exactly. At the end of the day, I would just say that just choose an abundance mindset. That's just the way to have a healthy relationship with money. Just choose an abundance mindset because while just like you mentioned, my overspending and hoarding not look, they're actually opposites of the spectrum. But you discover that deep down, at the end of the day, what motivates both of them is fear. At the end of the day, what motivates it is fear. The person that is overspending is afraid that I remember this thing happened. That was with my younger brother. We were at home one day, and somebody brought this beautiful gift of a a wine gift to us. I can't remember whose birthday it was, whether it was mine or his or something. And so the guy brought the wine gift to us and then left. And it was already very late in the night, and I was saying to my brother, you know what, let's save this wine and maybe drink it tomorrow, or let's even leave it to the weekend so that we can just pleasure and largesse and enjoy the wine. And the next thing my brother says, which is so funny, he said, what about if we die tomorrow? Let us drink the thing today. And it was so funny. I laughed, he laughed. Eventually, guess what? We definitely drank the wine that day because of the fun that we just had. And so, that's just it. At the end of the day, the person who is overspending is afraid that, look, what about tomorrow is not guaranteed, so I'd better enjoy myself to the maximum today. And then the person that is hoarding, it's also fear. It's also fear. He's also saying that, the way I'm seeing this thing resting in my account now, if I remove this, and the thing will go down, as in, it will give me high blood pressure. No, I can't touch it. Is also fear. At the end of the day, all I just simply, just tell people, and look, we're all not there. Even me that I'm saying this to you, honestly, I'm not there. Every day I keep working on it, and just keep praying to God that, God, please help me. Give me that heart of generosity and just help me to really have an abundance mindset. And so that's just it. Just look, have an abundance mindset. Always remember that whatever you have, it's just money. You can make it back. You can make it back. You see somebody that needs your help. You see somebody that needs assistance, and you are struggling with taking it out because all your mind is that if you take it out and give to that person, the thing will go down. Just always remember that whatever it is, you can make it back, or you can make it back. Have that abundance mindset. Remember that the pie is large enough for everybody. It's only the things that man creates creates that is usually in limited supply. Everything that God creates is always in abundance. See the air that we are breathing right now. We are how many billion in the world, and nobody is complaining. You stole my own air. Please give me back. No, this is your own air. Keep this one. Like we are all breathing it, and we're enjoying it, and living and doing all the things that we need to do. So whatever it is, when it comes to your finances, this is going to be hard. Trust me, it's going to be hard. But that is why we're having this conversation this evening. That just keep working at it. Have that abundance mindset.
Very, very true. And that is a good thing. And maybe in addition to that, there's nothing we have that has not been given to us. And we have a purpose of being here. We have a purpose of being created, of being in this space, exactly where we are right now. We have a purpose. And that's why, as much as possible, we try to impact positively on others. And there's even this Yoruba adage that says, okay, so you give, you do like this. You are
Yes,
not okay. So let's have abundant mindset, which is very, very key. Before I go on, let me quickly appreciate some of our friends that have joined us. I've seen Pastor Sheyi all the way from London. Thank you very much for joining. Taiwo Ojo from Abuja. My colleague Adeleke Olufade, thank you for joining. I've seen Laraba Sule, Jumi, Sumola. Thank you all for joining and for following us on this journey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take one more question before we go quickly on a break.
Okay,
what strategy can you use to save money and achieve your financial goals? Quickly.
Okay, ma'am. So just quickly, your plan needs to have these three elements if you want to be able to save money and achieve your financial goals. I call them the three S's. Number one, subtract. First S, subtract. Second S is strategize, and the third S is systemize. Subtract, there are just some things. If you are going to achieve any goals, any goal you want to achieve, be it financial, in any aspect of your life, you need to come to that point where you are going to have to say no to some certain things. That's just it. You need to be able to identify those things you are going to need to start saying no to, so that you can be able to say yes to that particular financial goal you want to achieve. The second thing is that you need to strategize. What is your strategy? What is your approach to achieve this goal that you want to achieve, whether it's savings specifically. Okay, we're talking about savings, so you need to have that strategy in place to achieve your savings objective. And then the third one, which is the main deal that I'm coming to, is systemize. One thing that I've realized is that, especially when it comes to savings, this is the big key. You need to automate it. Willpower will not help you achieve that goal. I know you are a very fantastic person when it comes to willpower, when it comes to discipline. But here is the thing. If you are going to achieve that goal over the long term, you have to automate it. Automation is key, be it with your bank, be it with many of these apps that are out there available now for you to help you do that. You need to put that instruction, be it on your account or with those apps and this thing, that takes the money from source. If you rely on yourself, guess what? Today you'll be motivated, but tomorrow you might not be motivated to do it. So automate it so that you can achieve that goal, to do better in your savings.
Thank you very much. We have to quickly go on a short break and we'll be right back. Please remain connected. Thank you.
These dry bones will rise again, 'cause the stone has been rolled away. At the touch of living water, this broken branch will live again. with the Lord. To his voice as he calls, come forth. Arise, come alive. It's not over till Jehovah saves you. Yeah. Arise, come alive. Mighty shoulder must fulfill your destiny. Yeah.
You welcome back. You welcome back. At least for all the good tips we've had today. This video we just watched is telling us don't lose hope, even if you have not been able to go on that trajectory yet. Don't lose hope. The dry bones will rise again if you have not been able to have the right mindset for your
Amen.
money psychology to make the best achievement or improvement in your business. There's still plenty of opportunity, and that's why we're having this conversation. So
Yes.
please don't lose hope. Now, quickly, I want to appreciate Adetuji Adenrito all the way from Surulere. Thanks for joining us today. Our next question goes on: what impact does your childhood upbringing have on your money psychology? You've said a bit about it, but maybe you answer that question first.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, man. So, thank you so much, Matt. Just like I mentioned, maybe for people just joining, I had already talked about the fact that many times your upbringing, sorry, plays a huge role when it comes to your money psychology. And for me, the one thing I discovered was growing up. Every time we talked about money in our house, it always led to a quarrel or a fight, either between my mom and my dad, or my dad and we kids. It will always turn to a fight. It will always turn to a quarrel. And somehow subconsciously you now carry that over even as an adult, where you get into scenarios and you want to talk, and the issue of money comes up and you don't want to talk about it, because as far as you are concerned, talking about money causes pain. Talking about money gives you headache. Talking about money, just always brings up all forms of issues, because you've had that experience growing up. And that's, for me, that's just where the starting point, the change starts from. You need to be able to identify these things and say to yourself, okay, if this was my experience growing up, does that experience serve me now? I usually call it identifying your money story. And each and every one of us have our own money stories that are driving our financial decisions. We will say, oh, I know I am blessed. I know that I'm prosperous and all that. But behind all those things, there is usually a money story. And you will not be able to achieve those goals you have set out to achieve financially until you can identify those money stories and say to yourself, is this money story serving me and moving me closer to this goal I want to achieve? And if it isn't, then how can I rewrite this story? And for me, that's just the beautiful news that I bring to us this evening, that we can rewrite our stories. That's just what is so encouraging. I can't remember who said it exactly, but I'm sure maybe we've had this quote before that says, what lies behind us and what lies in front of us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. And that's why this conversation is just so important. That is your psychology. See, the past has happened. You can't do anything about it. Just let it go. The future hasn't happened yet. Don't worry about it. I know that you are hearing all manner of things in the news about changes that are happening, AI taking jobs and all that, and you are panicking. You are wondering what's the future going to hold for you and all that. Look, just leave it. All those things are tiny matters compared to what is within you right now, to your psychology that we are dealing with right now. And that's just what it is. You are the one that has the power to write your own money story, to write a story that moves you closer to that goal that you want to achieve.
Thank you very much. How can you identify and change negative money beliefs that are holding you back?
Thank you so much, Ma. It's this simple way. I won't call it simple. Is okay. I would say it's simple, but it's not easy. Is that you need to start rewriting your own story, and how do you do that? Two things: you need to start exposing yourself to new experiences. You need to start exposing yourself to new experiences. It's just so important. Because one thing that I always tell people, I can't remember who I heard it from right now, is I think it's Bishop Oyedepo or somebody, I can't quite remember. He says there are some things that can be taught, but there are some other things that can only be taught. For me, that's so powerful. Now we can have this conversation. I can tell you that, oh, you need to identify your story and all that, rewrite your story. That's teaching. But there are some things that can only be caught. And the things that you catch, the things that are caught, those are the things that effect the real change. That say, look, it's not about just the talk we're having right now. You want to see a deliberate change. You need to expose yourself to new experiences. For me, it's about exposing myself and associating with people like my mentor right now, who there one of the days we went somewhere and we were with this particular family member, and just right there, without any plan, without any prearranged notion, I saw how he was generous to this family member. And for me, it blew my mind, because it's a different thing where you hear about generosity and having an abundance mindset. Somebody tells you, but it's a different thing where it is done right there in your presence. You are there physically when it happens. Look, you will just feel a 360-degree turn in your heart that you yourself will not be able to explain. And for me, that's just what it is, that when you get to that place where you are no longer just a pleasant surprise to your family members and the people around you, but you yourself, you are a pleasant surprise to yourself. That's what it's about. And so you need to make a deliberate effort to start cultivating new experiences, start associating with people that open you up to new experiences that just changes your psychology.
Okay, thank you. How can you balance the desire for immediate gratification with the need for long-term financial security?
Thank you so much, Ma, for that question. It's really a tough one, because I think I was having a conversation with my wife a little while back, and I was saying, look, we're not. We need to be sincere with ourselves that we humans, we are not wired to delay gratification. That's just the truth. We are not wired like that. Because when you talk about delaying gratification, you are saying the reward will not come now, the reward will come in the future. And that's why it's so difficult to work out. You know that you need to take care of your health, but it's hard. Why? Because the reward that working out promises you is not now, it's in the future. And that's why we struggle. We find it so difficult. We find it so hard. Instead, we are focused on the pain that we're receiving now. So instead of working out, what do? We end up reaching for that snack that we know we're not supposed to be eating, and then we're eating it over and over again, because we are not naturally wired to delay gratification. But at the end of the day, the truth about it is that one thing that we still have is that there's always wisdom that can be applied. And one wisdom that I would suggest is that number one is this: if you haven't read this book, which is called Atomic Habits by James Clear, immediately we are done with this session, look, you need to leave everything and make sure you go get that book. Atomic Habits by James Clear. It will change your life. And then the second thing is that, and which is what I got from the book, is that in the question is so beautiful, balancing delayed gratification and also trying to achieve your goals and objectives, is that you must find a way to be able to reward yourself in the moment while you are working towards that long-term objective. It's so important. And as I say this, you also need to be careful, because a very practical example is how, okay, you know you need to take care of your health, so you are working out, you go to the gym, you work out and all that. But because you have punished yourself, quote and unquote, you feel you have punished yourself in the gym, you come back and you want to reward yourself by buying a big bag of donuts to reward yourself. Please, at the end of the day, that is totally counterproductive. So what we're talking about is that you must look for a way to reward yourself in a way that still moves you closer to that goal that you want to achieve. There are so many things that you can begin to apply, and at the end of the day, it's also finding what works for you. But my main recommendation to you is that please go get that book, James Clear, by James Clear, Atomic Habits.
Thank you very much. I wish we can go on and on,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
time not permits. This session
Yes,
has
ma'am.
been so awesome. You have shared a lot of insights, and I'm sure our online audience really caught one or two new things from that. Thank you very much. We want to appreciate you once again
Thank you
for
so
this
much.
insightful moment that you've shared with us, and for sparing time out of your busy schedule to be with us. I hope when next time we come calling, you would accede to our request and
Yes,
not
ma'am.
use it as Oliver Twist. Thank you very much. God bless you. And my
Amen,
regards
man. Thank you.
to your mom and your wife that is watching us once again. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you
Yes,
very
ma'am.
much. We'll go on a short break now. Please remain connected. Very much. Welcome back. We'll go quickly to our wrap up session. Our discussion today, as you know, has been on money psychology. It is important to remember that there is no one size fits all approach to managing your finances. What works for one person may not work for another, and that is okay. So we need to decide and find out what works for us. The key is to stay curious and open minded, experiment with different strategies, and find out what works best for you. With the right mindset and tools, you can achieve your financial goals and live the life you desire. Understanding your money mindset, as we have been told, the way you think and feel about money can have a significant impact on your financial decisions and outcomes. It's important to understand your money mindset and any limiting beliefs, either from your youthful background or at work. You have to make make a departure from that. Sometimes we've heard the word money is evil, or some people say they will never be rich. That's kind of limiting beliefs. We have to get rid of it. Identify your financial goals. Without clear financial goals, it's easy to get sidetracked by short-term wants and impulses. We heard our guest telling us of the need to plan. You should take time to identify long-term financial goals, such as saving for retirement, paying off debt, or buying a home. Having clear goals can help you to make more intentional and informed financial decisions. Managing your emotions around money is also important. We have been told money can be a highly emotional topic, and it's important to recognize and manage such emotions when making financial decisions. For example, if you tend to overspend when you are feeling stressed or anxious, try to identify healthier coping mechanisms, such as exercise or meditation to get you out of that mindset. Developing a budget is also important. When you have a budget, it serves as a guide. So you'll be able to quickly check yourself when you are going overboard or doing something that is not as important. So you need to have a budget. Build healthy financial habits. Developing healthy financial habits can help you to make progress towards your financial goals and build long-term wealth. Some examples of healthy financial habits include setting aside money for savings each month, automating your bill payments, and avoiding high interest debt. Seeking professional help can also be important if you know you are struggling with managing your money or making progress towards your financial goal. It's not a crime or disease to seek financial to seek help, professional help. It may help. It may be helpful to find maybe a financial advisor, an accountant, or therapist that can point you in the right direction, provide valuable guidance, and money psychology and achieve financial success. In conclusion, understanding your money psychology is essential for achieving financial stability and success. By recognizing your spending habits, emotions, and beliefs about money, you can take steps to make positive changes and build a healthier relationship. I want to thank you once again, our regular viewers and new ones, for joining us today to explore the fascinating topic of money psychology. I hope you have gained valuable insights into your own money mindset and feel empowered to take control of your finances from now on. Remember that changing your relationship with money is a process, but with the dedication and commitment, you can achieve financial freedom and security. I would like at this point to appreciate our online audience. I appreciate all of you for sparing time to connect with us today. I hope this session has inspired you to take a closer look at your relationship with money and take steps towards a healthier financial future. Remember, your money psychology is a powerful tool that can work for you or against you. By cultivating awareness, practicing mindfulness, and developing good financial habits, you can harness the power of money, your mindset, and achieve your dreams. Thank you for being part of this journey. Please keep in touch for further assistance on the topic should you require any. In form of announcement, I hope you have all enjoyed today's episode. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Comfort Eyitayo. Once you have subscribed, please turn on the notification button, like and share our videos. Stay updated with information about upcoming events, solutions, and offers on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook at Comfort Eyitayo. Till I come your way again, explore how you can harness the power of your money mindset and psychology to achieve your dream. Thank you. God bless.